if you want to start a community, but a community is already there, you might want to do something that kind of goes the extra mile. You could do things to stand out in your community in a handful of different ways. In this little brief video, I'm gonna go over the things that I kind of did unknowingly at the time to do this, and then kind of structure a guide on how you guys can do it too. And what Twitch Prime said, just read that in chat, and then I don't even have to shill myself anymore. So let's just jump right into the video. So I want to start off with things, going over my little origin story just a little bit. So a real life example of something that ended up in the long term working. So if it works for me, it might work for you. But what did I do? So where am I talking about? A lot of people might know about that BCM was kind of my first community, but reality was Nintendo Dopamine was where it all started. That was a little gaming club that I was a part of. And, you know, when I rolled up the first time, there was a bunch of Smash 4 players. I hated it. And in the far corner was GXL and Gomez FL sitting on a setup. And that was it. That was the start of Melee. It was me, Gomez FL, GXL. So, let's put that as the context. You know, mostly Smash 4 players. Literally 3 Melee players. And what I did was I eventually got Melee tournaments going. And ooh, I got a video to show you guys. I eventually got Melee going. Some widgets. Even widgets, resources have you. So what are some things that I did? I knew in my mind that I wanted to play Melee. I was there for Melee. I was kind of disappointed that Melee wasn't the big thing or like a thing at all. I'm surprised we even had one Melee setup. So obviously the first thing I wanted to do was start running Melee tournaments. And, you know, it's one thing to say that you want to do that, and then it's another thing to kind of breach through and make something else happen. Was it out of the birth of the Melee scene, or were we still playing Brawl? I don't remember playing Brawl in Nintendo Dopamine. I don't remember that at all. So it might have been out of the birth of Melee, but I must have missed it. So, I still got that cough, jeez. So, here's what I did. Not only did I run Melee tournaments alongside different players like Gomez FL, there was this one, Jose's sister, I can't remember her name right now. But not only did I run Melee tournaments, but another thing that I specifically did was I took an old camera and I recorded people playing Melee. Excuse the spelling errors. I recorded the tournament sets. And a lot of people might not know, there are actually old Nintendo Dopamine. There's one in particular, Nintendo Dopamine Melee videos. So here, I got a Nintendo Dopamine. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. So there was a video that, there was a tournament that we ended up recording a little bit of. Dope. I know you guys can't see it just yet. And I want to show you guys this because this is like just the worst. Just the worst thing imaginable. So hold up. Let me cut out this music and let me switch screens. I know this is a little bit of a different take than what you guys are used to, but trust me on this one. I'll show you guys. Here is literally the first video I ever posted on YouTube, I think. And it's highlights. Look, just take a look. I'm going to try to stay still, so look at this. It is just a recording. And these are supposed to be highlights. Look at this highlight. These are not good. I remember doing this too. Actually, you know what? When I was like making the pseudo script for this, I had a legit question on whether or not it was a legit question on whether or not it was me that edited this video, but I do remember recording it. I don't know if I edited it. It might have been Austin. No, it was me. Never mind. But yo, take a look. Take a look at all of this stuff. Did you guys see that? That was real. Let me get this music back going. Look at that. That's real footage. That's something that human beings thought was okay to post online. Stuff like that. And we went ahead and did it. We didn't care at all. If you go on that Nintendo Dopamine channel, Austin actually posted a lot of videos on there. Some of Austin's videos got like hundreds of views. So, you know, it's stuff like that, taking a little bit of an extra step to get people around an idea. And that's just kind of something I did to kind of break into Nintendo Dopamine. Just kind of make something happen. Gomez FL in chat. Keep reminiscing, I guess. You did that with Brendan in a broken SNES? Dude. You know, sometimes you just like come up with something and it doesn't matter that it's good or bad, but like it's just the stepping stones to making something. So out of this, what ended up happening was, you know, this all led to me running Melee tournaments out my house. Me running Melee tournaments. Like my own Melee tournaments elsewhere. And dude, those spelling errors are never going away. But yeah, a little trip down memory lane. There's probably a ton of Vero Beach players that don't even know about like Nintendo Dopamine at all. So maybe Jack and Ian and maybe even Log, maybe they learned something about old Vero lore. That was the first thing I saw. Was the highlights. Inspire you to start the Shrek Super Slam. Oh my gosh! If you want to learn how to do it, George. No, dude, it's better than the Jorganization. Go organization. There it is. So here's the guide. Here's the guide, right? Here's essentially what I did in a little bit more of a streamlined way, right? So part one to kind of stepping out and making something happen in your community is identifying what's missing. And that's really simple. It could be, you know, from my experience as just being a gamer, so it could be something like, for example, you know, another tournament, another game being played. That's pretty much the easiest one. Maybe your little club, maybe a little scene is missing out on like social medias. Maybe they don't have setups. Maybe they don't have recording equipment. And if you really have the origin of the product, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna be disregarding everything I say and just go for that. Don't. Okay. I'm gonna continue. Just whatever you do, don't read chat at this point in time. It's not gonna be beneficial. All right. So, you know, you have to identify what's missing. You know, it could be even beyond recording equipment and just be like regular equipment. And if you have the ability to fill that gap. Even if you just have like a phone, you can take pictures of the events and post them onto a Discord server if nobody's doing that. It doesn't even have to be a school club thing. It could be a ton of different things. And that's really what you want to start doing, because you have to do something to stand out just a little bit because the long-term goal is to get things like people on your side to do bigger and better things. And so I want to go over a list of people, kind of you know, take some time to do a bunch of shout-outs. Picking up like Greg Heffley. No, oh no, it's not that bad. If I turn my head, you'll never see. It's my hair being like brushed back from the headset and then being released into the wind. But all right, so actually shouting out a bunch of people. So here are some examples of other local players doing this thing. Exactly this. All right, I guess we already have numbers, so we have A, Gomez FL. Gomez FL has done, oh my gosh, what hasn't Gomez FL done? I don't even know, but you know, for I guess for me specifically, and when I started running my own tournaments, he brought real recording equipment. I guess for real in this case is also in like this, because we went from a camcorder from like 1950 to whatever Austin brought, which was actually recording footage. And so he brought real recording equipment, and so that's something big that he did. I'm gonna go down the list. There's actually a lot of people. And the next person is gonna be GXL. He did something similar. Similar for the 8-bit tournaments. He brought a streaming laptop. He brought all that stuff. GXL also hosted fests at his house. And we didn't have fests at the time. We don't have fests now. We occasionally hold them at the church. But GXL did his thing by hosting fests, which was good. Additionally, a player that a lot of people don't know about, but we talk about often on these types of things, Mothra in particular, Mothra and Soul being my girlfriend, Mothra actually being my aunt. Shout out to Josie. So what they did was they took over painting prizes for my early tournaments, aka the Pigwins. If you guys know about the Pigwins, you guys, you know what? I'm gonna put on that screen just for the YouTube. So I'm gonna go. I have an origin story for that Pigwin, but I don't have enough time to go into it right now. So girlfriends don't count? No, well, not really. They count. No, because Soul's a part of the community. Mothra definitely counts. She's my aunt. But it's still the same thing. So essentially, right? It all goes into something that they have that I didn't have. Imagine back in the time, I was doing everything. So I needed people to take away things that I was doing, even if I wasn't like doing it at the best. I was painting. I don't paint. I'm not an artist. I just wanted to do it because I wanted my things to be different, and I wanted a cool little prize. I got inspired from another tournament, and then Josie and Soul came in and was like, actually, you're awful at this. We're gonna do it now. And so they took over and they did it. This leads into the next two people I want to shout out, which would be Noel FL and Soul. Again, Noel did a bunch of graphic. Noel and Soul now do a bunch of graphic design stuff. Soul takes photos at events now, occasionally. There's a bunch of other things Noel has done. Noel has done offered her art at raffles. And I promise you, this list is about to end now. Do I know how to? Ooh, do I know my ABC? We're gonna gamble on it being E. We're gonna end this off. There's a bunch of other people that have stood out and done things, but we're gonna right now end off the list with Fish and Yaman. And so what they're doing right now is introducing. They've helped introduce new games to the tournaments, particularly Guilty Gear Strive and Tekken. So, you know, just a bunch of people that have done things to stand out. And I guess this is a good point to mention for, you know, identifying what's missing. You could identify what's missing or what can be done better. Examples being like Noel and Mothra and Soul all coming in and doing art. So, no shoutouts to Misael or Mr. Adams. Dude, I could go over a list of 1,000,000 trillion different Vero Beach people that have like helped out in this, but I can't. Without Mr. Adams, I wouldn't be here, facts. But Mr. Adams, I guess he identified what was missing, which was a gaming club. Yeah, we'll put him on the list. Won't disrespect Mr. Adams. I guess I would put it in something different because if I remember correctly, it was that guy Ish that wanted to do a gaming club, and Mr. Adams was just like, I'll run it, because he had to have Mr. Adams do it. But not to disrespect Mr. Adams, but yeah, started everything. There you go. And Misael. I'm blanking. We'll come back to Misael. I'm sure Misael has done 1,000,000 trillion things for us. So we'll figure out one of the things he did. He just wasn't on my list initially, so I blanked out. Sorry, Misael, if you're listening to this. Okay, who cares? Okay. I care about Misael, but who cares about part 1 now? We're way past that. Let's go to part 2, right? You have identified a problem and you started to help solve that problem. So what happens now, right? And yeah. So when you solve something, when you implement something, when you bring something new, you know, people are appreciative of that, and you start to get a role in the community. You get a larger role in the community, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like you know, it's always cool to have some people like recognize you as that guy, like, oh, thank you so much for recording these sets and putting them on YouTube. Thank you so much. Like that photo that you took, like oh, I gotta put the photos for Yumman. Yumman takes some funny photos. He always has something funny to post at the further tournaments. But it's kind of cool being like recognized for those things. But now that you have a role, you could get some people behind you, and now you can start accomplishing more. Because think about it like what I did. I just recorded Melee and then I posted it on YouTube. Another thing is I got Jose's sister, whose name I can't remember. What was her name? Elizabeth? Well, we called her Liz. Maybe? Okay. Well, we got her. It was me, a couple other people, a Liz on board. Like Liz was supposed to take photos. We were supposed to put like things onto YouTube. It ended up failing and falling apart. But like you can start accomplishing more, getting people in on bigger projects, and that's what we that's like a part of the next step into doing whatever you want to do with this. So now you can do things that you super want to do. Start doing things you really want to do. Did I really want to post VODs and lug my camera around to record and then edit for like 5 hours because I don't know how to edit? I'm like 6 years old and I had to download everything on a Mac illegally. You know how hard that is? It's rough, but like I don't want to do that. I wanted to run Melee tournaments. So you start doing things, whatever you really want to do, and whatever that is, you can take the first steps into doing it. I just so happen to want to run Melee tournaments, and so that's what I started to do. You know, if you want to be the photo guy, you could take photos, and then you can take so many photos of those tournaments or those get-togethers that you can add it to your portfolio, you know, to kind of maybe leverage into a job in the future. If you want to run some kind of certain events, start doing that too. But think about it, if you have certain passions, think about like, I want to say leveraging the community you've kind of now built into like helping that. But when I go into this third part, you understand why I kind of like, I don't like that word leveraging, because part 3 is kind of about agendas. So I know this kind of makes me sound like a politician, but I do want to take this part of the video to explain agendas, right? So, you know, sometimes people do things for good reasons. Sometimes people could do things with like bad intent in mind, but like at my start, and you don't really think about that when you're young, I didn't walk into that club and be like, ha ha ha, in 7 years I will have at least like 20 of these guys attend my tournaments. This is the long con. No, I walked up and I was like, I want to play Melee? Oh, not too many people play Melee? Okay. And then I did what I had to do. So sometimes agendas are good. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. I'm spelling things wrong. It's alright. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. And listen, I just want to kind of go down this road of kind of explaining some red flags of agendas, right? Because you don't want to you don't want to be harmful ultimately. You don't want to do that. You want to build something. You don't want to destroy something. And so like if you're younger, you're not thinking about this, but if you're older and you want to start doing other things and more responsibilities are coming along, here are some little red flags that you should probably be avoiding. So like if your goals involve, I want to say, overthrowing somebody, so it's over exaggerated, but you guys get my point. That's kind of a bad sign right there, right? If it involves like kind of removing something from the scene, whether it be another game, another person, whatever, or any ideas around those lanes, like like games, what have you. You probably don't want to do that. Or see if your primary goal is profit. You should probably cut that out as well. I could go over a bunch of other lists. I just want to kind of throw up some early red flags because so we lose more money at the locals. Oh my gosh. Because like over time your goals are going to change. Like you're going to want to start doing other things for other purposes, and you don't want to get lost in your way ever. Like I said, I keep on saying this, like when you're younger, you don't care, you just want to do what you want to do. But now, like, okay, well, I have to pay rent every month, I got this, got that. I stay strong to not doing things primarily for profit. That's not what I want to do. Not with like running tournaments and stuff. But that's pretty much this part of the video on, you know, identifying something that could be done better, leveraging that into something that you want to start doing now that you have a little bit of a reputation, and avoiding, you know, negative agendas. But agendas aren't always bad, right? The final part, and I guess for the YouTube, if you made it to this point, let me know in the comments. We need that algorithm boosted, boys. But for that final part, because it was a weird turn into agendas and what that, so I kind of want to tell you guys what my agenda is nowadays as a 24-year-old, recently 24. My birthday was actually July 6th, earlier this month. I got COVID during it, rough. But like 24 years old, man, I've been in it. I was in that Nintendo Dopamine Club when I was 16. I was running tournaments like when I was 17, something along those lines. I've been doing this for nearly a decade, and absolutely, if we talk about like money wise, I'm like that one Looney Tunes character with the guns and the beard, and I'm like shooting in the air celebrating if at the end of the day I can like get myself $10 for gas for the car ride to the venue. So like, you know, we're in this position, and you know, it's good to note what my little plans are. So I wrote down a couple of these, and I'm gonna let you guys know to try to be transparent with everybody and why I'm doing the things I want to do. So I want VBS to be self-sufficient, money-wise. I don't really want to break a profit. Ooh, not showing up on this, kind of rough. We could do this. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to make VBS like a millionaire freaking company. It's never gonna happen. But if we can run tournaments, have the tournaments pay for themselves, and pay others to exist and help run things, that is perfect for me. That's what I want to do. That'd be great. People being paid, using it as a funnel to just grow people. You're the meme of the guy getting 10th place. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I'm like, I lit the $10 bill that I earned on fire and like ate it or something. I don't know. Well, I want VBS to be self-sufficient, and pay. That's the biggest thing. I want to pay people for helping doing the tournament stuff. Right now, it's like, here's $20 at the end of every month. I really appreciate you guys. It's really bad right now. But with all of the other things, you know, I kind of want my Twitch and my YouTube increase in size. That's why I'm making videos like this. I have the live stream. I'm making videos like this. This is a hobby. The hobby. But it would be really cool if the hobby was to generate some income. I'm not trying to be the next Ludwig. I don't want like 20,000 viewers. I like to keep it cool in a small little community, and using the YouTube to maybe get views, clicks. I'm not really the type of guy that wants to, like, now that I have this community, make money through the community paying me. That to me, it's like, it's just not what I want to do, and it's not gonna be like long-term, like something that can last anyway. So this way, clicks on YouTube are actually absolutely free, and if people ever wanted to sub, then they could, and that's like completely their choice. I'm not like doubling my venue fee so I can get paid money, but nobody's gonna have enough money for it. It's gonna be terrible. So that's why I want that to happen. Another big thing that I'm about is hiring local artists. to make graphics, collect a PR, and other things. But right now, we primarily have just Noel, Soul on the team, but occasionally we'll get another artist. Like, my dog just broke into. I'm gonna have to close that door in just a second. Primarily, we have other artists like Jack sometimes makes PRs. I'm trying to see what the team wants to do and next PR, but I really like having local artists come out and show their stuff, just kind of boosting up everybody. And all right, last thing. One last thing. That's my one last goal. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna walk away. For the YouTube, I'm gonna end up the video right now. Like and subscribe. That's it. Leave. Goodbye.